You ought to slow him down, Mr. Jago. Mr. Jago? Mr. Jago!
Medical, Central 10, standing by for VKG.
Go ahead, Central 10.
We have a deceased at this location. It appears suspicious. We have to check this.
These are A and B class, but if the C class engines of the man killers carry too much water, firebox 10 feet long, men would be exhausted by the time they got the fuel up to the front.
Never have picked you as a train buff, Malcolm?
Oh, look at this.
Excuse me, sir. I'd like to get shots from this angle.
Oh, yeah, of course, okay.
No worries.
It's all yours, Imogen.
Sorry. So much for same-day dry cleaning.
Did you get mine? Thorne's idea to page you. Waste of our time by the looks of it. A suicide note.
Really sorry about this. Better to finish it quick and clean. It gets you in the end, whatever the doctors say. I don't want to hang around being a burden. Explain to Paul and Tim. Look after yourself, A. Eh?
Abel Jago. My guess is he was dying of something or other.
And Ellie?
The wife. She's not here. Next door neighbour says she might be visiting a mother, some nursing home in the mountains.
All clear.
Right, we can turn them off now?
Can I do the honours? Always wanted to stop a train.
Sorry, Constable, but I am going to have to pull rank on that one. Excuse me.
Oh, very appropriate. There's a mortuary van. He didn't miss a trick, did he?
Yes, well, I'll go over the kitchen then, shall I?
Any residue in the glass, Fizz?
I'll be in a position to answer your questions when I've run my tests.
Maybe you should have asked that.
Anything else you can tell us, Doctor?
Well, your eyes are as good as mine, Inspector.
Oh, well, there's been decomposition, you know, but the body is still pink. No rigour.
Let's see.
Oh.
Yes, I'd estimate that death occurred at least 48 hours ago. Rigour's almost gone. Smells a bit almond-like. I'd say the body's pink, possibly because of a substantial ingestion of cyanide.
Yeah, well, straightforward enough, I guess. Wrap this up as soon as possible.
If it is cyanide, it's only the second case I've ever seen.
Who found him?
Your mum said that you knew Mr. Jago pretty well. I was his engineer, and Mr. Peaks, when he was here, I was his signal man too.
Yeah, that's a big responsibility. When was the last time that you saw him?
After school,
After school? What day?
Friday. We read Thomas the Tank Engine 2 times.
Was he expecting you this morning? The back door was open?
It's always open.
And when you went in this morning, were the trains going round? Was the set switched on?
Yes,
Any good trains? Any of your favourites?
the best ones.
Yeah. Which were they?
The 03 Pacific, the 89 class, and the Prussian Gloria.
Right.
That'll be mine now. He promised.
Yeah, right, men and their promises.
He did promise. Mr. Jago said, when he's playing with God's trains, then I can have his. We had a deal.
When did he say this?
Friday.
And did he say when he was going to be playing with God's trains?
They're my trains now. He promised.
Mr. Jago, this is Olga Manikoff returning your call Friday about 6:30. I'll be here until 7 tonight. Thank you.
Mabel, you there? Anyhow, it's Tim. Those parts came in after you left. I'll bring them over Sunday. Just thought I'd let you know, right?
Abel, it's Ellie. Abel, pick up the phone. Look, I'm going to have to stay another night up here. Mum's been terribly vague today. I want to see her doctor, but he's playing golf. So I've got an appointment first thing in the morning. I'll be home after that. All right? Bye now.
I don't care. I want to see him.
Looks like the wife's insisting on seeing the body.
Oh, it's a pity about the smell.
Yeah.
It'd be less distressing if she could see him back at the morgue.
No, I'm fine.
Mrs. Jago, I'm Detective Hayden.
When?
We don't know exactly, but possibly sometime Friday evening.
He sat here all that time.
Mrs. Jago, I know this is incredibly distressing, but can you identify this as your husband's handwriting?
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. I was supposed to come home yesterday. I rang, but nobody answered.
Right.
I thought he was playing with his trains and couldn't be bothered picking up the phone. He does that. He locks himself away. And all the time he's sitting here.
Can I get you something, a cup of tea, perhaps?
Thank you. I'll make it.
Yeah.
I need to have something to do.
Just before you do go, there were some messages on the answering machine. Who's Tim?
I'm my husband's business partner.
Right. And Olga Manikov?
Our solicitor.
Right. Thank you.
Sorry about the mess. Leave Abel alone for 2 minutes and I can never find a thing. He's hopeless without me around.
If you find anything missing, our crime scene officer will have taken a few items.
Why?
Well, we need to establish how he ingested the poison. Food, drink, that sort of thing.
Well, what difference does it make? He's dead.
Mrs. Jago, was your husband suffering from any health problems?
He had cancer. We were going to fight it.
Hey! No, under the cold water. Under the cold. That's it.
You must do it!
Just keep it.
Pretty offhand suicide note, don't you think?
I wouldn't know. I've never written one.
He didn't even sign it love. You would, wouldn't you?
Well, he was married 15 years and he did have a few other things on his mind.
Like ringing his solicitor and not sticking around long enough for her to get back.
Yeah, like cancer.
So you were Mr. Jago's business partner?
Sorry, it's just... Oh, jeez. Poor Abel. Poor Ellie, how's she taking it?
As well as can be expected. There was a message on the answering machine from you, Mr. Peake, saying you were going to call in yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, I didn't make it. With orders coming in and Ellie away from work.
His wife works here.
She's the one who keeps the business going. Without her, we wouldn't be in business.
We're going to need a sample of Mr. Jago's handwriting.
Right.
Were you aware of Mr. Jago's health problems, Mr. Peake?
Yeah, poor bloke. His first wife, Gloria, died of cancer. He nursed her for 2 years. I guess he didn't want to go the same way himself.
No. What sort of chemicals do you use here?
Oh, run-of-the-mill type stuff. You know, clean solutions, solvents, hydrochloric acid, cutting oils.
Nothing more potent.
Well, they're potent enough in my book. These are the last memos he wrote. Will I do?
Thank you.
I guess you want to compare that to the handwriting of the suicide note, huh?
The stomach and all the organs in the abdominal cavity appear pink. Blood is of the same shade, indicative of decreased tissue extraction of oxygen.
Terminal, was it?
We're all terminal. Except he decided to hurry things along a little. Scotch laced with a strong dose of cyanide, I'd say.
Yes, black label in the glass. There was no trace of cyanide in it.
Well, it mightn't have been in the glass, but he certainly swallowed it.
Yes, if I could trouble you for the tissue
Yes, you can
sample.
have the stomach contents in a minute.
Terrific.
I wouldn't stand too close. Sometimes people get affected by the smell of bitter almonds. They pass out.
Yes, well, I suppose this will be another case we tie up for homicide. But we'll almost do without them altogether, really.
Come on, Fisk, you'd still need someone to make the arrest.
Aha! That's how he swallowed the cyanide. It was in a capsule.
That's not easy to come by, is it? He'd have to have made that up himself.
Yes. Something that might interest you. He had a tumour. It appears localised to the prostate gland.
Why is that interesting?
Even without treatment, Mr. Jago could have lived 2 or 3 years. With treatment, surgery, radiotherapy, our friend here could have had a chance of being cured.
So why was he in such a hurry to die?
It's hard, I know. You have to face it. We both do.
I don't believe it. I saw him on Wednesday. There was nothing wrong with him.
Detective Vance, Paul Jago, my stepson.
I'm sorry about your loss, Mr. Jago.
Yes, well, what are you doing about it?
At the moment, I'm just here to take Mrs. Jago's statement.
Right, well, I don't believe that he killed himself.
I told him about the note.
Yes, well, I'd like to see the note.
That can be arranged. I'll meet you later at homicide, if you like. Mr. Jago?
He didn't kill himself. Did he? Go ahead, ask her. Ask Tim Peake. Very cosy working together behind a desk while Dad does all the work on the machines.
That's unfair. We were in a partnership together.
That's right. Yeah. You get it all now, don't you?
Look, Paul, I think you should go.
Well, I'll see you at homicide.
I'm so sorry. He's very upset. He loved his father. It's just they were never really close.
There's some real horror stories in the railways. Like this one guy got his hand stuck in a check rail. Train was coming. They had to cut his hand off with an axe. What about that other guy who got his head crushed between 2 carriages? Just like...
Homicide, Steve Hayden. Miss Manikoff, thanks for getting back to me so quickly. Abel Jago. I believe you were his solicitor? Yes, you returned his call Friday evening. I was wondering what that was in connection with. Uh-huh.
He hadn't even started treatment. Wasn't in any pain that I knew of. I mean, he had plans. He said he was going to travel overseas. This doesn't make sense.
Did you have anything to do with your father's business?
No, I was never any good with machinery. Well, I lecture at TAFE.
What in?
In chemistry. Look, Ellie only married him so she could take over the business, all right?
You don't think that your stepmother loved him?
How could she? She's 20 years younger than he was. She's old enough to be my sister. I can tell you, this letter is a lie.
Mrs. Jago identified the writing and it matches the handwriting found at your father's office.
Well, I'm not sure. I haven't seen his writing for years. Maybe he wrote it some other time when he was depressed and it was put there after he was killed.
It's dated.
My father wouldn't kill himself.
Sure?
You're the cop. You're meant to figure it out, aren't you?
Paul, if there's anything that you can help us with, anything concrete.
Hey, Tessa, I was wondering if you've seen that.
This is such... stuffed a lot of you.
What?
Ellie Jago gets the house plus 70% of the business. She also gets a couple of $100,000 in cash. The partner, Tim Peake, gets 20% of the business plus the trains.
Well, that leaves only 10% for the son. Why so little?
Life insurance, $500,000, which he doesn't collect if it's suicide.
No wonder he wants it to be murder.
Guess why Abel Jago was ringing his solicitor? He wanted to change his will.
The son teaches chemistry.
A man who'd know his cyanides, Mr. Fisk.
Well, he must have more imagination than his father.
Imagination? Why?
Well, we've had Jago's handwriting analysed. All the samples are consistent. Some interesting personality observations for speculative detectives.
So, are you going to leave us hanging, or do we speculate for 20 questions?
Where are we? Here we are. Abel Jago was methodical, unimaginative, rigid, narrow-minded, stubborn, and with a lot of repressed anger.
Not a very flattering portrait.
Nor very helpful.
I know. Clearly dysfunctional.
Didn't say that.
You both go out to the Jago Peak factory, right? Mm-hmm. Neither of you pick up on the significance of it being an electroplating business?
Fisk?
Cyanide.
Precisely.
Yes, sodium cyanide, to be precise, it's used to solubilise metals prior to electrodepositing them on the surface of other metals. It's all part of the process.
Something else I can help you with?
Do you keep a record of the chemical orders in this factory, Mr. Peake?
Yeah, in my office. Why?
Why didn't you mention you use cyanide here, sir?
I didn't think it was important at the time. All I could think about was poor Abel. I mean, if you'd mentioned cyanide...
Could we see your order book, please? Could anyone have forced Mr. Jago to write a suicide letter, do you think?
Nobody could force Abel to do anything.
Stubborn.
Yeah, like a mule. Oh, look, don't get me wrong, that's not a criticism. Abel was one of the most brilliant men I know. At least with machinery. Always filled with plans and ideas. Just unpredictable, I guess. Impulsive sort of bloke, you know?
Impulsive enough to take cyanide?
In a disorganised kind of a way. Always losing things. Messages, orders, glasses. At 1 minute he'd be talking about pouring money into a hobby shop. The next he'd be planning a trip overseas. Like he'd heard about this cancer cure somewhere in Mexico. That's where he said he was going.
Who had access to these chemicals, Mr. Peake?
I did.
Wouldn't take much cyanide to fill a capsule, would it? Why do you think Mr. Jago would take cyanide if he was so filled with plans for the future? Is there something you'd like to tell us, Mr. Peake?
I just don't want anyone blaming me, that's all. He said it was his insurance. But when things got tough, when the pain got too bad. I swear I didn't think he'd take them.
Them? Well, there was more than one.
He made two.
What do you think you're doing? Go home, Darren. I said go home. Oh!
If it hurts so much, why don't you take a pill and die?
My doctor prescribed them for me.
Has anyone been fiddling with these?
Darren, probably. Abel should never have promised it to him.
He what?
You know what he was like.
I've been working on these for 20 years. They weren't just his to give.
Did your partner never talk about leaving the trains to Darren?
No.
But he was allowed to watch when you and Mr. Jago had them running.
Watch but don't touch. I mean, that kid had wrecked this lot in 10 minutes flat.
Were you aware that your husband was planning to change his will?
No. But he mentioned that he'd promised Darren.
Well, that's it then, isn't it?
Take them, Tim. I don't want them in the house anymore.
I'm sorry, the room should be left as it is for now.
They're yours. I don't want that boy in the house anymore either.
I used to get into next door's yard like that when I was your age. Darren, did you see any tablets? You know, things you take when you're sick?
I promise not to.
Not to what?
Promise not to touch anything. Only the trains.
Darren, I want you home now. Go on, quickly. When will Darren get these trains?
That's not my decision.
Look, I know they're worth a lot, but if my son says he was promised them...
I agree. The trains are worth a lot. Why do you think Mr. Jago would have promised them to your son?
Well, who knows what went on between them two? I mean, the amount of time that Darren spent in there or over there spotting trains.
Did he talk much about his relationship with Mr. Jago? About the deal?
No, they're boys. They don't, do they? And him, he's a secretive one, got that from his father. But if Darren says he was promised those trains, then I believe him, and he's entitled to...
It's a civil matter, I'm afraid, Mrs. Browning. Nothing to do with the police.
Detective, we're about to wrap this suicide up.
Not quite so, no.
Well, what have you got?
Well, the son, the wife, and the business partner all knew that Abel Jago had cancer. They probably all knew he was going to change his will, too.
In favour of whom?
Well, Steve spoke to the solicitor. She doesn't know, but he had asked her to call him about it. One thing I'm certain he wanted to do was leave the train set to the little boy.
Oh, no. I mean, he'll wreck it.
In 10 seconds flat. What big boys' toys, Ellen?
Not toys, Tessa. They're perfect scale models. You can invest a lifetime in them.
To kill for, in other words.
Oh, no. Now, that would be a hunch.
Well, I'd have to consider it.
Is that all you got? It's not much.
None of the people that I've spoken to have alibis that would stand up in court. Any one of them could have been at the house on Friday night. Any one of them could have been concerned about change to the will, except for the son. If it was suicide, he doesn't get the insurance money.
Key words there, Detective. If it was suicide, you can wrap up the case. get on with the other ones that are piling up on the desk.
It's just that the little boy is adamant about a deal, a secret deal.
Tessa, don't turn this into another one of your Chinese puzzles.
Not here. It's probably haranguing little balls with a long stick.
I wasn't looking for Steve.
What, have you found the other cyanide capsule? No, I thought not. I do go over the scenes pretty thoroughly myself when I get the chance.
You got something for me there?
No. It's a matter in court tomorrow. It's a comparison chart, just going over my chain of evidence.
It's all a bit of a Chinese puzzle, really, isn't it?
Certainly is not when I've got my physical evidence.
The physical evidence might be staring you in the face while the killer's looking over your shoulder.
Sound like your father. Now there was someone who could read a scene, get a confession, wrap it up. He was a total one-off, Tessa. Don't rely too much on what your witnesses tell you. I mean, they're just words. They're twistable, they're retractable, they're sometimes inadmissible. Physical evidence is indisputable. Physical evidence does not lie.
Well, I'd better go and find you some physical evidence.
Good day. I think we're going to get a win on this one, by the way.
Your shout, Todders.
Is this all you've got to do?
Helps me think.
Did you get to the TAFE college?
Yeah, come and sit down. There wasn't much there. Paul Jago's a good teacher, bit of a loner. Doesn't seem to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Doesn't mix with the other teachers, keeps himself to himself.
We have to find that cyanide capsule.
Tootsie seems to think he may have ingested two. The second one may have dissolved.
You know Thorne wants to wrap this up as a suicide.
Yeah. Look, Tess, if you find something, I'm with you. But at the moment, I'm thinking the same way Thorne does. I can't go on your gut instinct.
Well, thanks for your support.
I'm just trying to be realistic.
Fine, you be realistic. I'll follow my instinct. I'm not letting anyone get away with murder. Excuse me?
Very cosy working together behind a desk all day.
He's a secretive one. Got that from his father.
Just unpredictable, I guess. Impulsive sort of bloke, you know.
With treatment, a friend here could have had a chance of being cured.
Where I lived.
I followed you from the bar.
And that's where you should have spoken to me.
I know, I'm sorry, but this is private. Dad's letters from when I was in boarding school. I want you to compare these to the note that he left.
If that's what you want.
Listen, don't patronise me, just... I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I know you think I'm neurotic, but my father is dead. And all he leaves is a note to her. Explain to Paul. He owed me more than that. For all those years he owed me. But I just want what's mine.
One game. It'll help you think.
Haven't you got anybody else you could hustle?
Turn them all down for you.
You know, you'd have a better chance of getting a date if you stopped talking about severed limbs.
Look, it's a test. Only like men with strong stomachs.
All right.
Hey, that Jago bloke get hold of Tessa yet?
Paul Jago?
Yeah, came into homicide looking for her. What a bundle of nerves he is, eh? A bit creepy if you ask me. Hey, $5 a game?
Just hold on a minute.
He didn't start writing them until I'd been there 3 years. 3 years I waited.
I have to answer it. I'm on call. Hello?
Paul Jago's been looking for you.
Yes, I know. I've got company.
He's with you?
I'll talk to you later.
I gotta go. I can't.
Oh, Steve.
Sorry.
When I was little, he was always so proud of me. I mean, I could read by the time I was 4, and he used to show me off, get me to read in front of people. But I was never any good with machines and stuff, and I guess that's what made him lose interest. Why he likes the kid next door so much now. Liked. When I was his age, I was slapped into a country boarding school.
Was that after your mother died?
I hated that school. I wrote to him begging him to bring me home, but he never answered. My 10th birthday, I get a card just signed, Abel Jago. Like I was a business acquaintance. He never really loved me, which is, you know, no, it's true. I bored him. I wasn't the son he wanted.
What about these?
Yeah, well, after he married Ellie, things changed. I started getting letters every few weeks, but I knew Ellie was behind it, knew she would have nagged him into it. Wanted him to tell me that he was proud of me. Like he was before he sent me away.
Paul, go home. I promise I'll check your father's letters against the night he left. I'll only need 1 or 2. You take the rest home with you. Wow. Paul, it's all right. You remember Detective Hayden? See you later. What are you doing here?
You could have been in danger.
Well, I wasn't.
What was he doing here?
He wanted to show me some letters with his father's handwriting.
Tess, that's what we have an office for. He's a weird merchant, that one.
Well, maybe he's got a right to be.
So you've written him off as a suspect, have you?
I don't know. There's certainly a lot of anger there, or hurt. I get the feeling he thinks Tim Peake and Ellie Jago are having an affair.
Sexual fantasy, probably started during puberty. She's sexy enough. You know, cool, controlled sort of way. If you like that sort of woman.
I saw them, Tim Peake and Ellie holding hands.
Uh-huh.
There's something missing. It's staring me in the face, but I just can't get a grip on it.
Well, if you have any more brilliant ideas, make sure you have them at a decent hour, okay? I need to get a good night's sleep. Good night.
Good night.
almost gone. Airside estimate that death occurred at least 48 hours ago. Rigger's almost gone. Airside estimate that death occurred at least 48 hours ago. Rigger's almost gone. Smells a bit almond-like.
Train fetishes too, hey?
I'd say the body's pink.
Haven't been to bed either.
Because of a
Plenty of time to sleep when I'm dead.
cyanide.
Straightforward enough, I guess. Wrap this up as soon as possible.
So what are you looking for? Well, Dee, I'm looking
Anything else you can tell us, Doctor?
But your eyes are as good as mine, Inspector.
Well, there's been decomposition, but the body is still pink. No rigor.
Didn't miss a trick, did he?
Steve, you awake? Come on, the birds were up 5 minutes ago. I know who murdered Abel Jago.
I told you not to come here again.
I want my trains. They're mine.
No.
Mr. Jago?
You've been a naughty boy, Darren. Been upsetting Mrs. Jago. I think you owe her an apology, don't you?
Where's Mrs. Jago?
Oh, she and Darren have gone for a walk.
Darren?
Yeah, I ticked him off about upsetting Ellie, and he turned on the charm. Now he's trying to make up. He's taken off to look at some trains.
She's gone with him.
Yeah, I don't think she felt up to it, but it's hard to say no to that kid.
Lynn, have you seen Darren? What's he done now? Why? What's going on?
I bet I'm right. It'll be the 4910 comes right after the C77. Look! Don't tell me you're scared of trains. Come on. I was right. It's a 4910. Darren! Get away from us!
Darren, the deal you had with Mr. Jago, what was it? Too old to be reading this, aren't you? The deal was to do with this book, wasn't it? It's all right, Darren, you're not in any trouble. You can tell us.
I was teaching him. He promised me the trains.
If you taught him how to read. Your husband couldn't read or write, could he, Mrs. Jago? He dictated the letters and memos and you wrote them down for him. His first wife probably did the same thing and you stepped in and took her place. Which made it easier for you to kill him and then write the perfect suicide note, didn't it? And then burn your hand deliberately so we wouldn't see your handwriting.
All his talk about finding a miracle cure. He would have gone through all our money, the lot. There would have been nothing left.
He told you about the capsules, didn't he?
We figured it out. They were in the mortuary van. I gave him one to have with his scotch, told him it was a vitamin. He didn't even question it. And I walked back to the station and caught the next train back. The irony is, if Abel hadn't have got cancer, I wouldn't have had to kill him.
At least Paul will get his inheritance.
That wasn't what he wanted.
What put you on to Abel Jago's little secret?
My father always used to say, whenever you get stuck, stop thinking about the murderer and start thinking about the victim. I was going about it all wrong. I should have been thinking about Abel Jago. And I should have listened to Fisk.
Fisk?
Yeah, when he was giving us the character analysis of the person that wrote the note, remember? Narrow-minded, unimaginative, full of repressed anger. Didn't suit Abel Jago's personality at all.
Well, it all came together. You wrapped it up nicely, Tessa. Congratulations. And the kid gets the train set. Wonder how much he wants for it.
As you were saying, unpredictable, brilliant, impulsive, disorganised, hated paperwork. Could almost describe somebody else I know.
Right. You read me like a book, do you?
I know more than you think I do.
Like what?
Coming?
You haven't answered my question.
Scared I'll find out your secrets.
I don't have any secrets.
Your library book's overdue. Gleister's Medical Jurisprudence and Toxicology. 4 weeks overdue from the University Library.
I'm about to throw a spanner in your works. Whoever signed this birthday card did not write the suicide note, and I know this is a genuine signature because it matches the signature on the will. So QED, your suicide note, is a fake.
Congratulations, Fisk. I think you've solved it. All you've got to do now is work out who did write the card.
And why would be useful, too.
If you need us to make an arrest, we'll be in the bar.
Rebecca Gibney is Jane Halifax, stepping into the tormented nightmares of an accused murderer. Halifax FP Deja Vu, Channel 9's Thursday movie thriller at 8:30. Nightline is next on 9 this evening, then our wide world of sports coverage of the FINA World Cup of Swimming. And witness the heartwarming stories of courage from kids, 7:30 tomorrow night, together with the Good Medicine Summer Series. Looking good, here on Channel 9.